Welcome to Bareboat Alaska and the Alaskan channel. Today we're on the Stellar's J. It's a 37 Uniflight built in 1980, and we've been using it as a rental boat here for the last few years, and it's going pretty good, but we have some maintenance to do on the engines. These are good boats. So these have Volvo tmd40As, and we had a leak in the freshwater circulation pump, and we were putting another new fuel pump on one engine. So I'm going to try one of these. Hey, let's show you how we maintain these old boats and these old diesels. I have a good friend and mechanic, Irvin Korea, who's going to help. But we're already halfway in. We've tore into the engine, so you can see we'll go over where we're at. We've got the heat exchanger off. Here's the guts and bowels of the project. These lighting's kind of dim in here, but anyway, the heat exchanger sits right here. We got the heat exchanger off. We've got the alternator down. You got all this goo and grime. Let me turn the light around there. Look at that. That's where the water pump would have sat. It circulates the fresh water. And right now I'm gonna go about cleaning all that scale and goo out of there and get it ready. And on this motor over here, we're taking this fuel pump off, and we're gonna put a new fuel pump. That entails a whole another aspect of the maintenance, but we've been trying to keep up on the dealing with these older engines. They're still running good condition, good oil pressure. They just need all these outer components: the heat exchangers, the alternators, the turbochargers, the saltwater pumps. All those things need to be maintained, and over the course of time they get wore out and corroded in the saltwater environment, and the more you use them, the better it is usually. So follow along.
Well, like all these boats, one of the problems is getting at everything. I'm just using a little bit of what they call carburetor cleaner or brake cleaner. Crazy how in my visibility, of course, I can't see.
Well, after 3 cans of brake clean and a couple pair of disposable gloves, we got the engine cleaned up enough to remount the, geez, my selfie stick here is anyway, oh my god, this is YouTube amateur hour. Anyway, so I have ordered from Volvo the gasket, and these Volvos, all these components use these little O-rings to re-establish seals between the water pumps, the heat exchangers, and so forth. Here's the, if you're looking at, this is the fuel pump. I had this rebuilt by a company down in Washington. I've got all the bolts ground and repainted with a little bit of Never-Seez on them, and here is new water pump. For you guys that are not into boats, it's like airplanes. They are expensive. This piece of cast iron with this pulleys, a nice brass, stainless circulating impeller in there. This whole unit here was about $900. Just to have this was my pump. It was a spare fuel pump for the Volvo. this pump here was, it cost me about $1,000 to get it rebuilt. So when they say bust out another $1,000, this is what they're talking about. And that doesn't include the labor of uninstalling, taking them out, or reinstalling them. So today we're gonna put this is just the freshwater side. So if you're, it's the best side of Irvin, the top of his head. You know, let's look what he's doing here. He's getting all the bolts ready. Of course, the reason Irvin doesn't like to work on boats is because he's got to be on his hands and knees. You got to be bent over. You need to train by doing yoga so that you can be in, we call it the downward facing bilge pose. A smart person would set up a time lapse. No, a smart person wouldn't even buy a boat. So, Irvin just...
So 8.8 grade.
Oh, the bolt is 8.
Grade.
That's the grade of the bolt.
Yeah, it's a metric. And then it's a 8 mil
thread.
No.
Diameter.
Diameter.
Yeah.
And then abs chart.
Oh, and the chart tells you what you should torque that to.
Yeah.
Does that? So on this pump, we just put this new freshwater cert pump on here. It has what, 8 bolts. Some of them hold the alternator on. 2 of them do.
They're all the same diameter. So.
And so the what's the torque spec say for that?
16 pounds.
16 foot-pounds.
Yeah.
So that's what we just put that on, and he's torquing those down now to.
That's with lubrication.
Oh, with some.
Yeah.
If you don't have that on, do you go greater?
A little bit higher.
A little bit higher torque if you go to without the never sees on there.
Yeah.
Installed. And then nowadays they would run a mono belt on all these, on the new Cummins and newer engines. They don't do all these V belts anymore. Yeah, I watched a guy. So now we're in the process of changing this rebuilt pump for that older fuel pump on the starboard engine. It's taking off. I'm gonna pull that. I don't know what you call that. Flywheel? It's not a flywheel.
The cam gear.
Cam gear. Oh, pipe. It's on a tapered shaft.
So the key.
Oh, you're gonna line it up with the.
Yeah, the cam gear.
Cam gear. Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, and then you gotta turn it.
Make sure. There you go. Go in there.
Okay, we gotta bolt the stop. Start it. Good job.
Hopefully.
Well, here we are at the conclusion of our water pump and fuel pump installation on this 1980 Coastal Cruiser tmd40 Volvos, and we've been working them to this year. We need to replace the water pump, and we've done that. To conclude, we put the heat exchanger back on this port engine. This was rebuilt a few years ago. We added a new or rebuilt fuel pump on this one. We thought it might be part of the problem, but actually it's running about the same. So we've done that. Now we're going to do our startup, And just so you know, these little deals here we added are called the battery isolators. And these are the newer versions that take your voltage from your alternators on your engine or your input from shore power, and they will distribute it to the battery banks in a priority status. Pretty neat little little items there. So here we go. Start up on our starboard engine right there. We got it preheat. Here, click. Glow plugs, throttle a little bit, and there we go. That one's going. Now we're gonna go with the one we put the water pump on. That's starting up here. Successful maintenance. And then we come look here, we look at our oil pressures. We got water temperatures still showing low just because they got to warm up. Yeah, oil pressure's at 55, 800 RPM. This one we got water temp coming up. Oil pressure's a little low and we're idling about 800 to 750. Yeah, so some of the improvements we've made on this boat over the years, I put in this vinyl teak floor, and we put this galley kind of table in here so it can fold up so you can access the engine room panels and slide them out to do your maintenance and so forth. And then this year, after battling some of our electronics, we put on this new Garmin multi-function. Well, I don't have the different electronic. These are kind of an interesting, easy install. Me and Irvin installed this. Radar, chart plotter, and depth sounder all in one. This is the 10-inch screen, not a touch screen, just got the keypads and so forth. So this boat's equipped with that. And it's got a ComNav autopilot. Turn that down. Yeah, so if you ever decide to come cruise here in the inland or inside passage, you catch a can. Yeah, consider these one nice, proven boats for this kind of cruising here. Good anchoring systems, good electronics, dual engines. This one even has a extended swim step, so you have fishing, crab pot hauling, and so forth. So that concludes our engine maintenance video for the Bareboat Alaska Coastal Cruiser. Thanks.